and welcome back to another video from Off the Post. In today's episode, we'll be discussing Brentford beating Manchester United 4-3 in a 7-goal thriller. But before that, as always, like, comment and subscribe. It is very much appreciated. It helps out my channel massively to build for the future. But anyways, where do we even start to begin with this game, okay? Brentford absolutely smashing Manchester United 4-3 in the Premier League. Now, they've been awful this season, haven't they, Manchester United? Honestly, I don't think it's harsh in saying that whatever, because they truly have. Okay, here's a quick start about Manchester United in the Premier League. They're on a 6-game winless streak, okay? Honestly, it is terrible. It is mind-blowing. You know, when you think about Manchester United as an institution of the Premier League, of football, I would have never ever thought I would have said those words in my life, okay? That might be a big statement, I know, especially watching them this season. And for the past, 8 years, or whatever, since Sir Alex Ferguson has left. But they've been even worse since, even, you know, Ruben Amorim has joined Manchester United this season, halfway through the season. You know, the whole tactics, the 3-4-3, does it work, does it not? I don't think it has, really. I don't think he's got the players there. I feel like the system, I don't know, I think there's too much reliance on the system, and maybe he probably should have changed it, because, you know, he just doesn't have the players there available to him, and you can see that in these results, in these games. But yeah, I think we should just start off by talking about some of the goals, shall we? Brentford didn't get off to the best of starts, going 1-0 down for a Luke Shaw cross into the box, and Mason Mount scores the goal. You know, I'm happy that Mason Mount got on the score sheet, because he's been very unfortunate for injuries this season, and last season, obviously. Hasn't really found his place for Manchester United, but hopefully now he can sort of use that goal to build momentum for the rest of the season. Obviously 3 games left, and going into the Europa League as well. You know, Europa League semi-finals and finals, so hopefully he can build upon that and do some decent stuff there for next season. But yeah, pretty much straight away, 10 minutes after, Luke Shaw let himself down. You know, he did get the assist, but scored an own goal, and you know, Brentford got the equaliser in pretty quick succession, really. You know, Damsgaard had a shot, deflected off Luke Shaw, and the goalkeeper couldn't save it to his near post. You know, the goalkeeper probably should be doing better there for Manchester United, but what can you say? For me, the star player of this game was Kevin Schade, because he scored both goals of the game, and he was absolutely incredible. And for me as well, I feel like he's really starting to come into his own for this Brentford side, and I feel like he's really starting to have a breakout season in the Premier League. He's got 11 goals and 3 assists, and by anybody's standard, that is very good on the left wing for Brentford. Obviously, the German, he is a very interesting character, and he scored 2 goals in this game, and he pretty much won Brentford the game from that point of view. Scored 2 headers as well, which is a little bit unusual. Probably not the quality you would expect him to have, but nevertheless, he's a very good player, and starting to come into his own in the Premier League for Brentford this season. And when you think about that front three of Mbeumo, Wizza, and Kevin Schade, he's right up there for me. And Brentford have a decent attack. Brentford have a decent midfield. Good defence as well. Goalkeeper isn't bad. They've just got a good team. Honestly, Brentford dominated this game, didn't they? And, you know, scored 2 or 3 very good goals. Their attacking side, who love to dominate the ball, and they work it so well, don't they? Obviously, at this point, right, it was 2-1 up, right, for Brentford through Kevin Schade, and pretty much they scored 2 other goals in the second half, I'm pretty sure, right, in quick succession in the 70th minute and in the 74th minute, and it was 4-1, easy as you like. And then for me, Manchester United sort of scored 2 consolation goals very late on, okay, to bring the score back to 4-3. So from that point of view, at the 90th minute, it looks like, you know, 4-3. It doesn't look too bad, okay, but realistically, scoring 2 late goals, they just didn't have enough time to get the equaliser, make it 4-4. So, you know, Kevin Schade was the best player of the game. Wizza scored the 4th goal as well. I think that was the best goal of the game. Another player as well was probably Damsgaard, because that ball he played through to Mbeumo to get the assist for Wizza for the 4th goal. That was some very good play there, and that was probably the best goal of the game as well. You know, just a very nice overall team played goal, team effort goal, shall we say. And, you know, Wizard, he's a very underrated player, isn't he? I think I've said this about the whole Brentford side. They all seem, you know, underrated, but I feel like they just do their job, don't they, at Brentford? And they know exactly what they're doing, and week in, week out, they'll more or less get a decent result against some of the big teams. Right, so Brentford are sitting 9th in the Premier League on 52 points, and what an amazing season they've had, honestly. What a brilliant job Thomas Frank has done ever since he's taken over from the Championship, obviously getting them promoted, making sure they're Premier League regulars. Now, there's a lot of talk around them potentially challenging for those Europa League positions. For me this season, I think it's a little bit too far gone. You know, trying to make up like 8 points difference between them and Aston Villa in 7th will be a little bit too difficult, and I don't think they will get it because they've got to win 3 games. They've got to win the last 3 remaining games, and it's just too much for me. So, you know, if they finish 8th or 9th, what an incredible year they've done. And Thomas Frank, he's an amazing manager. There's always been a bit of chatter around, can he join a bigger team with the likes of Everton, Wolves, Fulham, someone like that. But I don't know, maybe he might be off in the summer, who knows. If a Manchester United come calling, I wouldn't rule it out. If a Tottenham come calling, I wouldn't rule that out either, with the Ange Pochettino situation there happening as well, potentially getting the sack, who knows. Or there's been talk about that in the media, so I don't know as well. Brentford have been great in this game. If we look at some of the football ratings just quickly, where are they? Obviously, Schade got a 8.9 match rating with 2 goals. Incredible stuff there. So yeah, he played 72 minutes, 2 goals, total shots 4. Great player, Kevin Schade, isn't he? And then Damsgaard 7.6. Wizard got a 8 as well. And Mbeumo got a 7.4. That's quite surprising. I'm sure Mbeumo got a couple of assists. Why has he got no assists here? Didn't he get 2 assists? There was one for Kevin Schade, I'm pretty sure, wasn't there? That's a bit weird. But anyways, when you think about Mbeumo this season, he is their star man. He is the star quality in their team and gives them a boost, and that's probably one of the main reasons why they're so high in the league for Brentford. But I don't know. I think I feel like there's a rumoured 60 million price tag on him, so he might be off in the summer. You know, he's one of their star players. Could he go to one of the big six teams like Liverpool, Manchester United and Arsenal, someone like that potentially? I feel like he's got the capabilities of doing that. So I feel like we should move on to speaking about Manchester United now, because obviously they're sitting 15th in the Premier League on 39 points, which is just embarrassing. Honestly, it is embarrassing. I don't think it's too harsh to say that whatsoever, because I feel sorry for those Manchester United fans this season. Watching them must be such a bore fest. It must be such a slog, must be such a drag, honestly. I could not watch this Manchester United team week in, week out, and fair play to any of you guys who do that. But for me, the Europa League is sort of the shining light of their season now. Obviously, beating Atletico Club 3-0 in the Europa League, you know, it is the highlight of their season, and they could potentially, you know, end the season with a trophy if they potentially, it's looking like facing Spurs in the final. So if they come away with if they come away with the season with a trophy, it might be, some might say it's a better season than the likes of Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest, Chelsea, all these clubs, and Arsenal. You know, look at Arsenal, what they're doing. They're second in the league, and if United finish with a trophy and Arsenal don't, a lot of the Manchester United fans will be saying, you know, that's a better season. And maybe arguably so, because, you know, at the end of the day, football is about winning. Football is about getting trophies, and if you're Manchester United, getting a trophy, getting the Europa League under your belt with Ruben Amorim's first season, okay, it is good from that sense. But, you know, build for the future. I think they just get rid of some players. I think they need to get rid of a lot of players, in fact, and you know, buy some players that actually suit Ruben Amorim's system. I don't know if he'll do that. I don't know if the club will back him enough, you know, in the summer transfer window. But I feel like they need to, because otherwise they're not going to do nothing. I feel like it's going to be just similar things going to happen next season for them. They might be a little bit better off. They probably will finish mid-table, but they can't have another season finish 15th, can they? Honestly, it's embarrassing. When you think about Manchester United as an institution, I think I've already said this earlier in the previous video. When you think about them as an institution, they can't be 15th. They've always got to be challenging for the Premier League or even top 4. But just honestly, Manchester United have been way off it in these past couple of years, and they do need to get back to their best. But, you know, a look ahead to Europa League, it's 3-0 against Atletico Club, so they're pretty much through to the finals, and Spurs are pretty much through because they've just won 3-1 as well. So Manchester United Spurs final could be very interesting, and from that point of view, I could see it to be a decent game, honestly. You know, Ruben Amorim versus Ange Postecoglou. Obviously, he is known for getting winning the trophy in his second season. So, could he do it again? Who knows? I don't know. Because obviously, Spurs are in a very similar situation to Manchester United. We'll have to wait and see. Honestly, this could be a very good game in the Europa League. And I can't wait to watch it, honestly. I feel like, you know, both clubs could do this victory. Both clubs could do a trophy. Who would need it more? I feel like Spurs need a trophy more than United do, because, you know, they've got that, you know, Spursy type stats to their name, haven't they? And it's a little bit annoying from that sort of sense, because I suppose Spurs fans would just absolutely love a trophy to get that sort of hindrance off their belt sort of thing. But again, you know, we'll have to wait and see. I think we should end the video by discussing what will happen to these teams next season, because for me, you know, there's been a lot of talk around Mbeumo leaving. Obviously, he's a star player for Brentford. He's got a 60 million rumored price tag. So, if Brentford lose him, will they be as high in the league? I'm not too sure. It'll be very difficult to sort of replicate his goals and assists. But I'm sure, you know, Thomas Frank and Brentford's sort of transfer model will find somebody out there for cheap, and they'll come in and absolutely smash it. So, from that perspective, I think they'll be all right. But then again, I really don't want to see, like, you know, Mbeumo Wizz partnership sort of, you know, I don't want to lose that partnership, because they are a very good Premier League duo at the moment, aren't they? You know, can't let's say if Mbeumo leaves, can they sort of do a buy one get one free? Okay, can Wizz come along with them? Yeah, that could be a decent little deal. I don't know if that would work, but that could be funny. But you know, Brentford are, you know, a good team. Manchester United, what can happen with Manchester United? You know, I feel like they've got to put all their hopes on the Europa League, and if they don't do that, then it'll be very disappointing. Let me just end with some questions, okay? Do you think Brentford can challenge for the Europa League either this season? I feel like 8 points is probably too much to claw back. If not, can they do it next season? You know, will they lose Mbeumo in the summer? Will they lose Damsgaard? Will they lose, you know, some more of their star players? How good is Kevin Schade, by the way? Is he having a breakout season? Because for me, I feel like he is. Scoring 11 goals and 3 assists by anybody's standards is pretty good, and, you know, has really helped them to get the goals in this season. Manchester United, okay. Is this Manchester United's worst season in the Premier League? Will Ruben Amorim turn it around? Will they obviously progress to the finals and win it? Will they beat Spurs in the finals? If Manchester United win a trophy, have they had a better season than the likes of Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester City, all these teams? Do trophies matter more than having a good 38-game Premier League season? Yeah, those are all my questions. So as always, like, comment, subscribe. It's very much appreciated. And I'll see you again in another video. Peace out.